Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer back on the East Coast. And we've got some player props for you on a Thursday night here, a 6-game slate in the NBA. So some pretty good games to choose from. Lots of offensive stars out there tonight. Definitely want to make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along with us. We're coming at you each and every weekday this season with a couple game videos and our player props. Also want you to head to thelines.com. That's where we put up all of these great picks and written content up there. And we also have our odds finder tool. You can use that to make sure that you're getting the best juice back across those U.S. sports books this season. Nate, let's go ahead and jump right into your first NBA play a prop for tonight.
Yeah, we talked about the Celtics-Clippers game, and I'm just trying to take Kawhi Leonard props here and maybe the over as well in that game. But Kawhi's props come out way too low across the board. I think 20.5 points. I like 27.5 points rebounds at pretty good odds, and just 4 assists at plus money, plus 108 right now. He's filling it up. The most important thing is he's playing at least 30-ish minutes in 8 straight games. And so that's led to 20 points per game, 7 and change rebounds, 4 and change assists. The only time he didn't play 30 minutes was when he went for 25, 9, and 6 against Boston in 29 minutes, was a plus 23, kind of led that game to being over. His last 3 versus Boston, 27 points per game, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. So, he can score on these dudes for sure. He can also defend them. Whatever we know about the enigma that is Kawhi's mind, he seems to get up for this matchup. And he's just back to being lethally efficient. 55-50 splits in his last 2, 6.5 assists per game. Also, it's kind of like the playmaker Kawhi, because he's like, all right, I'm not really ready to just be the man all the time, or I'm still pacing myself for the postseason. But he got up for this matchup last time. It's a lot of people's finals prediction, and I think it's a big game with a rising total for good reason. So that we should see both stars, all 4 stars, coming out here as the big 2 go up against each other.
Yeah, if you're LA and if you're the Clippers right now, like whatever is going on behind the scenes, you've got a shot at winning this West. It's wide the hell open. Denver might be the best team in the West, but maybe not. Memphis might be. Devin Booker's not even there for the Suns for another month at least. Like, it's wide open. And if you're the Clips, I'm assuming that you're bringing it. And if you're Kawhi, I'm assuming that the reason that you've been playing lately, we know he wanted to play against Toronto, as he's now 5-0 since leaving there and playing against them. But he's got to want to play in this game as well. Like you said, potential finals matchup, which at the beginning of the season, I would have been like, that is an awful ticket. Go ahead and cash that out as soon as you can and get your money back. But now the Clips are in a position where it looks a little bit different. And then it's very reasonable for them to come out of the West. I say all that because I just want to know if Kawhi's trying. And if he is, then 27.5 points and rebounds. I love that for sure. So, let's go to another guy who's been ball-in this season, and finally, I think, getting some of his flowers that he deserves. Pascal Siakam. We do love coming back to him. Over 25.5 points tonight in a pretty decent matchup against a Grizzlies team that much better on defense at home, I will say, than on the road, where they're really, really good at at home. So you can go for the 26 points for him in a game where I think he's got a pretty good matchup, or the 41.5 PRA. Last 4 for this guy, just going absolutely insane. 38 points a game on 10 boards and about 7 assists as well. A 35% usage rate, and what you like to see when you talk about his usage. Fred VanVleet, questionable once again, continues to sort of struggle this season with a few little injuries and really shooting the ball in general. You talk about what Pascal does when Fred VanVleet is out since 2021, so about a year or so ago. 28% usage when he's out, and 24 points per game as well. That's without him. 26% usage, 22% points per game with him. So everything goes up a tick when Fred's not there for Pascal. Memphis, like I said, been playing well on D and has held him in check to a degree in terms of Pascal the last 5 times they played him. 22.5 a game on 4.5 boards and 4 assists for Pascal. But first of all, that's only about 3 points less than what we're talking about. And secondly, like I said, Memphis defense on the road, not the same as what it is at home. 113 defensive rating over their last 8. Yeah, so if Triple J is not going to be able able to stay out of foul trouble, that's their best matchup for this one, obviously. And if he's not playing like 32 to 36 minutes, which you can expect Pascal to play in a game that they're going to need him to really come through as they continue to struggle even at home right now, I think this is a good opportunity to get Siakam in a really big game for them to get 26 points that he's been doing pretty efficiently lately.
Yeah, I mean, the recent splits against Memphis are worrying, as is the fact that Memphis is great denying paint points, doing the things that you think Siakam needs. But he came into that matchup against the Knicks with them riding the highest defensive rating in their last 8, and then he just goes off for a career high. So It's not like there are many answers for him right now. He's really added to his game. He's playing at an all-NBA level. I think you just keep riding it until the wheels fall off. First time appearance here for the OKC rook, Jalen Williams.
Love it.
I mean, there's a lot to like in a game with the 239 total. We got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 31.5 points. You got LaMelo at 24.5, but I'm taking Jalen at just 12.5 points, even money. Him and Mike Muscala have props up yet. They're both going to see a boost here in playing time and usage with no Poku for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Jeremiah Robinson's also out right now. In his last 4, Jalen's scoring 13.5, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. So 20.5 PRA seems pretty nice as well. And it's Charlotte, so of course we want to attack them. They give up the 5th most points and rebounds to small forwards. In their last 10, they have a 121.5 defensive rating, and they play at a pace of 102.5. So there's just so many opportunities to get stats when things are going that fast.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to talk about Mr. Jalen Williams. Like I very clearly said when you start talking about him, I think it's about time we start talking about a few of the other young guys on this team. We've talked about Poku a couple of times. He's been a player prop as well. But like you said, with a few of the guys that they need in that sort of small forward, center-ish, sometimes ball handling position that OKC loves to run over there, I think Jalen Williams is going to continue to be an important guy for that. So let's finish things off here talking about DG, the PG, as you've labeled him, Darius Garland. We talk about him and kind of Donnie Mitchell. I kind of want to talk about them in the same breath because I do think that there's an opportunity here against the Pacers for us to feel pretty good about Donnie Mitchell kind of making a little bit more of a turnaround on sort of the way that things have been going in terms of the scoring. Last game we saw them against Brooklyn, Darius go off for the career high there while Donnie took a little bit more of a back seat. This is a game where I think we're both expecting, especially if Tyrese Halliburton, as we call him, Hallababy, not playing tonight. He's questionable. You want to stay on that. It's very relevant because if he's not playing, I don't think the Pacers stay close. I think we feel pretty good about the Cavs covering 5 points for sure in that instance. And then we're not really sure how many minutes that each of these two guys are going to get for Donnie Mitchell and Darius Garland at that point. But I think, the guy that does the scoring leading up to that, I think we feel a little bit better about Donnie Mitchell in this one. 27.5 points. It is more than the 20.5 for Darius, as we say, but For Darius, though, you look at his road home splits, and I think it adds to the idea that this is the situation that you should take Donnie Mitchell in on the road. 16 a game this season versus the 25 that he's scoring at home. The assists go up as well on the road, just a bit more of that usage. In his last 5 on the road, just 17 a game, 33-25 splits. So really, obviously, super bad from deep right now on the road. And that's with that 26% usage in 37 minutes over those last 5. So like I said, in this one, I feel a little bit better about maybe going under on a Darius Garland than even an over on a Donnie Mitchell. But I think there's a little bit of the inverse correlation there. It's just a matter of, do you think the Pacers are going to be within striking distance at all, later in the game for these two guys to both stay on the floor?
Yeah, and I'll throw out a third one. Evan Mobley, 14.5 points. He really hasn't been looking at the basket lately. And I think if it's not that close a game, he has no real reason to try to figure out his offense. So, I mean, there's some ways to attack this, but we're all basing this if Halliburton sits. So You got to wait and see what happens there.
Yeah, and that's the name of the game with player props. Too often is just who is and who is not playing. You have to know. There's a bit of a gamble as guys, totals and props will go up or down based on that. And if Halliburton doesn't play, though, I don't know that necessarily affects how they'll flip these Cavs props, right? So I think you can feel pretty good about taking those as is, but you do want to see if Halliburton is playing for really the way that this, if you want to take some overs, you kind of want him in there so that the Pacers come along is what we're saying. Definitely make sure to stay on top of all that stuff pretty much up until game time right now, the way the NBA is going. So that is all the time we have for you, though. In this one, make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along with us. Coming back at you to end this work week on Friday with another couple game videos and our player props. So until we see you next, happy betting.